Hi, this is Laura, your property expert from Springbok Properties, and today we're talking about how to sell your house fast. Now, if you're a homeowner or a landlord looking to sell a property and you've been on the market, tried estate agents, or you're just curious about how the market is at the moment and how much you could get for your house, this video is for you. We'll be covering loads of topics, and by the end of this video you should have a clear idea about how fast house sales work in the UK. So let's get straight to it. But before we start, it would be great if you could please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Thanks. First of all, cash buying companies in the UK are companies that purchase properties directly from homeowners. These are not middlemen and they're not estate agents either. They potentially have their own funds which they could buy your property directly from you. Or they could use a third-party investor buyer that's already on their books. So, how do cash buying companies work? Well, they'll make an initial assessment of your property and the location and see if it fits their criteria. If it does, you'll get a preliminary offer, usually within 1 or 2 working days of you contacting them. And after that, a cash buying company would do a more detailed assessment to determine the property's condition and check there's no structural defects. This is usually done by a chartered surveyor up to 9 working days from the initial contact. Now, if the property has some structural defects or other areas that might affect the valuation, they might reduce the offer a little bit when they do a more detailed assessment and repairs are needed. But the good news is that most cash buying companies buy houses in need of repairs, whether that's a complete refurb or a renovation such as a new kitchen or bathroom, as well as run-down properties that need repairs and deep cleaning. As long as it's been disclosed at the outset and they're fully aware of the condition of the property, it shouldn't be a problem for a cash buying company. In most cases, if the property is in good shape and it's in line with their valuation, they will then go ahead and start with the conveyancing process, the legal transfer of ownership. So within 2 weeks of contacting a cash buying company, you could have an agreed offer and proceed to the conveyancing, which could take up to 6 weeks depending on the paperwork required. This means you can exchange contracts and complete your sale within 7 weeks of first contacting a cash buying company, even if everything goes through smoothly. Now let's compare this process and the timeframes with traditional estate agents if you choose to go on the open market. Most traditional estate agents will start with valuing your property, then take photographs, create a description of the property and put it on the market using Rightmove, Zoopla or similar websites. They would put it on the market for a price you're looking to achieve and hope to get offers from buyers, first-time buyers, investors and people who are upgrading or downsizing. An agent will then arrange viewings for you, receive offers, negotiate the offers for you and ultimately secure a buyer. But if your property is not receiving enough interest, a traditional estate agent would usually suggest lowering the price. If, for example, a property is listed at £120,000 and it isn't getting enough interest, they would get in touch with you to reduce the price to £110,000 and hope that this will generate more buyer interest. This process goes on and on until they see enough interest in your property. But this could mean delays. The average time to agree a sale with an estate agent on the open market can be between 1 to 3 months or longer. And it can take 2 to 3 months more for all the legal conveyancing, finishing up to exchange and completion and moving out. So you're looking at a minimum of 3 months and a maximum of 7 months. Now, what are the other benefits of selling a house with a fast cash buying company? Well, the main benefit is the speed of sale. But another key benefit is the certainty of a sale. About 30% of sales fall through after getting agreed on the open market, so there's a 1 in 3 chance that even if you secure a buyer through an estate agent, your sale might not actually happen. That means you'll have to start the process all over again, so more bills for you, more delays, more uncertainty and more time wasted. On the flip side, a cash buying company will help you secure a sale. Unless you want to pull out of the sale, there's a very high chance that the sale won't fall through. Benefit number 3 is that a cash buying company will manage everything for you. Yeah, they'll handle all the paperwork, so if you're a busy professional that doesn't have spare time, or you're living abroad and can't be at the property, or if you're not in good health, a cash buying company can save the day. Another big benefit is that most genuine cash buying companies do not charge a fee. They cover the solicitor's conveyancing costs as well, plus survey costs. Now, you're probably wondering how cash buying companies make their money. Well, they will buy your property at a price that's below market value, then sell it on to make a profit. Here's an example. Let's say your property is truly worth £100,000 based on comparable data of recent sales. They would probably make you an offer of £85,000. It all depends on the company and how hard they work. With a sale agreed at £85,000, they would sell the property either to an investor or sell it on the open market later on. They will obviously incur costs, but eventually they will make some sort of profit out of it. Although in this example, you'll be getting around £15,000 less than the true market value, there are no fees to pay, no solicitor fees, no survey costs, and you'll be getting a guaranteed sale as well as a fast sale. I'm sure you have questions, and one I see that's asked a lot is, can I sell a house with tenants? Well, yes, you can. Some cash buyers will buy your property, then look for investors who are looking to buy properties with tenants. Having tenants does reduce the pool of buyers to an extent, but that's one of the benefits with cash buying companies. They'll have investors on their books that buy properties with tenants in place. You will have to make sure that your tenants are well aware of the sale, and you need to have their cooperation with giving access to the property as and when needed. Another question I'm asked is, how quickly can a cash buying company complete the purchase of my house? Now that's a really good question. I've touched on it earlier, but I'll go through it again. A cash buying company can complete the purchase of your house very quickly. If they take typically 2 to 7 working days to formalise their offer after the initial offer has been made, it's common to take another 3 to 5 weeks to finish off the conveyancing process. In some cases, they might actually complete within 3 weeks. But in a typical scenario, it can take 4 to 6 weeks to complete, given that everything's gone smoothly. There's been no hurdles and there's been no structural issues that mean the offer needs to be reassessed. So that's about 42 days to go from initial inquiry to completion. A really good cash buying company will work to your timescales if that's too quick, so don't be put off if you're not ready to move that quickly. Next is another common question. How do cash buying companies determine the value of my property? Well, cash buying companies will look at your area and comparable sales and will invite independent estate agents to come and value your property. They will do their own assessment of your area, look at the condition of the property and its unique features, and that's how they come up with a value for the property. Because most homeowners tend to overvalue their property, a lot of estate agents tend to overvalue as well, because that's a technique they use to win business. Then, down the line, the agent asks you to reduce the price because your property isn't getting enough attention. On the subject of prices, you might be thinking, can I negotiate the price with the cash buying company? Yes, absolutely. You can negotiate a price with a cash buying company, but you have to bear in mind that they don't charge any fees. So the price they offer you is the amount that will be in your bank account. Before contacting a cash buying company, you should have a very clear figure in your mind so that you know how much you want to achieve. Then, when they make you an offer, you can either negotiate that offer or you could decline the offer and walk away. If you've already exhausted the estate agent option, or you already know that going on the market with an estate agent is going to take you too long, a cash buyer can be a great option. And it's definitely a good option for people who need the certainty of a sale and people who are looking to sell quickly. That could be the case if you're selling a house in probate. If probate has been granted, you can sell the house to a cash buying company. The tax implications are pretty similar to what you would have if you were to sell on the open market. So there are no special tax implications when selling to a cash buying company. In fact, perhaps the only time you won't be able to sell a house to a cash buyer is if the house is in negative equity. If the property is in negative equity, the sale wouldn't be able to cover your mortgage. And that means the cash buying company would not make a profit on it, so they wouldn't take that property on. And that brings me onto paperwork. To sell your property to a cash buying company, whatever your situation, you only need the standard set of documents. That's your ID to prove your identity, ownership with title deeds, and conveyancing related documents. You don't need any additional or special documents to use a cash buying company. Oh, and you can sell a house with a mortgage to a cash buying company. They would pay off the mortgage and pass on the remaining proceeds to you as per the price that has been agreed. Now, I'll look at the risks associated with selling your house to a cash buying company. The first risk is that making sure that you're dealing with a genuine company. You can check by looking at customer reviews and testimonials to verify that they are regulated. This is just to avoid wasting time with a company that won't buy your property after promising to do so. The second risk is that there are some bad practices in the industry and some companies that are not genuine, and they might reduce the offer at the very last minute. They might offer you what looks like a fair price, but then as you approach exchange of contracts, they reduce the offer significantly. And because you're about to complete and you've now invested in all the paperwork and conveyancing, you're forced to accept a lower price than they originally offered. So how can you tell if a cash buying company is reputable? Well, this is very simple. Just look at which industry bodies they're associated with and the online reviews they've got. There's a Property Ombudsman, National Association of Property Buyers, and there are Google reviews, as well as different review platforms. And take a look at their history. Have they been around for at least 5 years or so? Researching will give you a fair idea whether you're dealing with a reputable company or one of the companies that's just sprung up and may not be able to fulfill their promises. Now, if things should happen to go wrong, you'll want to know that a cash buying company can handle disputes. Most of them are professional cash buyers, so they would have some form of dispute resolution process. The Property Ombudsman that I just mentioned is an independent dispute resolution system, so make sure they're registered with them. Whether or not a cash buying company is the right choice for you all depends on your circumstances. If you don't have the time and you don't want to deal with the hassle of going on the market and going through the long process of the estate agency route, it might be worth exploring your options with a cash buying company. The best part about it is you can make inquiries, but you're not obligated to work with them. And if you feel like this process does work for you, then you can go ahead. It doesn't hurt to explore this option if you're genuinely looking to sell your house quickly. Even if you're also speaking to estate agents, a cash buyer could be your backup option in case the sale falls through. Yes, it does mean that you have to accept a price that is slightly below your perceived value or the market value, but that's the price for getting a guaranteed and speedy sale for your house. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions about how to sell your house, just let us know in the comments below, and we'd love to help you with covering that in our upcoming videos. Please remember to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Hit that subscribe button now and turn on the bell icon for notifications. See you next time. Bye.